What's going on, everybody? It's Falchion with you once again. And once again, we are here for another episode of Borderless Gaming GSA, the game show, news show, podcast. How are you doing today, geek?
I've had better days, but I got my first vaccination shot, so I'm on the road to hopefully better health, or at
Nice,
least
nice.
the prospect of better health.
Cool, cool.
How are you doing this week, sir?
Not too bad. I took some new sleep medication last night, and it still got me wiped out trying to get used to it. But we're gonna push through, right? We're gonna push through.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you got anything for the people this week?
Uh, I'm still getting it together, but it's something that Echo Evans sent in. It's a viewer request.
Cool, cool. All right, then if you're getting it together, we'll run through some news like really quick because the big story of today is that the Bethesda deal is done and dusted. It's finished, and there's a lot to unpack in that. So, but first, let's get to let's go with a rumor, right? There's a rumor going around now that Outriders is going to be on Game Pass at launch. Have you heard about that?
No, on Game Pass at
On
launch.
Game Pass at launch. So understand that this is a game that right now you can pre-order, right?
Right.
But you might be jumping the gun a little too soon if you do, if it is actually going to be on Game Pass. Now this is just a rumor. Xbox, one of Xbox top brass said something on Twitter, and unfortunately I can't look at that because I don't mess with Twitter. But and it's too small. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here it's just too small for me to see. And whenever I click on it, it doesn't let me look at it. So, but this person says there's probably a hint about a game in here somewhere. Honestly, we can't even keep up with all the announcements lately. But in here, I saw a YouTube video about it, which is the only reason I know about it. She says something about so small I can't read it. Let me see. It says, "Hey team." Okay, so this is an internal memo, I guess. It says, "Hey team, so much something today. I can't see the word. Um, actually, can you? Because you have Twitter, right?
I do.
Is there a way you could bring this up? Um, I guess look up. Looks like Outriders is coming to Game Pass or Xbox Game Pass. Oh, here it is. This is this is the passage right here. Actually, that I'm looking for. She says, "I am the anomaly. Am I the anomaly in this situation?" Everybody's focused on the word anomaly, right? So I guess a lot of the story of Outriders um, is around the word an anomaly. Hey, Andrea, how are you doing?
Good
Thanks for
evening,
hanging
Andrea.
out. Um, so because she says, "Am I the anomaly in this situation?" and in the tweet, she's talking about just everything that's going on within Microsoft and specifically within Game Pass and everything. And there's a lot going on in Microsoft right now. I mean, there's a lot going on in Microsoft. So, there are a bunch of games that deal with an anomaly that's happening, right? Mass Effect this surrounds itself around an anomaly, right? There's a new game coming out, Stalker 2 is coming out soon, and Stalker revolves around an anomaly. So I would take this with a grain of salt, honestly. But it wouldn't surprise me. Just because of the moves that Microsoft is making right now, it definitely would not surprise me to learn that they're going to have Outriders in their in Game Pass day one, and a lot of people might be really upset about that because I don't think it's a free to play game, right? I mean, I imagine you know a little bit more about it than me.
About Outriders,
Yeah,
Outriders is not free.
right.
The demo
Because
is
you
free.
can,
You can
yeah,
only go to level 7, and then everything else you have to pay for the game. It's a regular
right.
game.
Right, and yeah, I should have realized that because I just spoke about it being people taking pre-orders for it. But so if this rumor is true and you're playing it on PS5 or PlayStation in general, or even the PC, well, not the PC, but on the PlayStation, you're paying $70 for it because they've raised the price for all their games to $70. That's the new standard on PlayStation. Um, On PC, it's probably going to be the normal $60. I don't, unless the uh, the developers decide or publishers decide otherwise. And then, but if you have Game Pass, you get it included in your Game Pass bundle. So that may be something people want to think about. So, and if you can get it on Game Pass, is it a game that you'd be willing to take up drive space for?
Absolutely.
Yeah, even I would donate some drive space to if it was on Game Pass. So if you ever wanted to know what Game Pass was good for, there you go. um, in other news,
Where's J Law when you need him?
right? He just moved into his new house this weekend, so I'm sure he's dealing with that. This story came to me from Plank. I know, like his son and all his son's friends and
Whoa.
his nieces and nephew. What
Sorry about that.
would you see?
I was I was trying to look at Outriders on Steam to see what the price was, and I actually clicked the game, so it started an instance.
Uh, um, so like I said, Plink sent me this news, this bit of news. So I guess your request there. Um, Roblox is being publicly traded now, and just as soon as it releases to the public, jumps $38 billion. Like this is a game that I've never seen it. I've never seen it played. I've heard of it because it's a game that like Plank's son and all his nieces play, and then just a bunch of my friends' kids play this game. So yeah, that's pretty incredible. Do you mess around in the stock market at all?
Yes.
Do you? So is this something that would interest you? Because I can't see this, like the popularity of this game. I don't see this dropping anytime soon. Or
Okay, there are two different things there. You asked me about the stock market. The stock market has nothing to do with me playing the game.
no, I know that. No, I understand that, but its stock is not going to drop. Is what I'm saying is its stock is not going to drop. And correct me if I'm wrong. If the popularity of this game just continues to grow. What's up, Plank? I'm glad you decided to join us tonight.
That's that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting at, Plank. So when I heard about it, I actually I actually thought I might have got a early call because I think it was something in the neighborhood of 30 something, 32, between 32 and 38 when on opening bell. and then it immediately jumped to something else that I was like, okay, that's out of my price range. Or the best I could hope for is getting it on Stash or uh, I can't think of the other one right now. So whereas a group of us could buy it, and each individual gets fractional shares.
Gotcha.
Is the only way I could get to it at this point because it jumped right out of my price range.
I mean, that's incredible. I'm actually really glad to see so much in gaming now being publicly traded. It should just really boost, in my opinion, the industry. Now, understand I don't have anything to do with any of this financial stuff, so I can't say for sure, but that's just my opinion on the thing, for what it's worth, my little 2 cents or what have you. Link tries to explain things to me every now and again, but I think it frustrates him to try and gives up. So, anyways, on to the next story. The PS5 gets anti cheat added to it. You hear about this? Geek, you there?
Yes, I'm here. No, I did not hear about this.
Yeah. So PS5 developers can now add how do you say the word Duinvo anti cheat to their games. I didn't realize that it was an issue on consoles. People cheating in a way that like an anti cheat um, program would help. Now I know that there's things that you can add to, like say your controller or whatever, that is basically an aimbot, or you can do things to your router to kind of put you out of phase with other players, making it far more difficult for you to be like shot or something. Say, but I don't think these are things that an anti cheat program would help. Where I see this helping more would be on like PC, where people can buy programs to cheat, or can mod the game to cheat. And so when you're playing in a public like lobby or what have you, um, you can like a cheat program would help. Um, so my question actually is for you, and Blink might know too if he wants to chime in. How does something like this help on the on a console?
Okay. So consoles, especially this generation, I say I say that every generation is more akin to a PC. So the same way that somebody would cheat on a PC, they can now do on a console. Same chip, same calls. They can lock things down a little bit more because of the console, but not not much. That's why the aim bots work.
Okay, and Plank is saying the PS4 has been cracked, and there are homebrew mods for it. Cheating and jailbreaking is only a matter of time. I did not know that. That's wow. That
Now
kind of saddens me.
that I heard.
Like I thought, I guess foolishly, I thought consoles would be the safe space as far as cheating goes like that, anyways. Uh, but wow, yeah, I guess not. That's that
Re-
saddens me.
Remind you that but no matter where it is, computer, PC, or platform, there are certain inherent things that always leave it vulnerable because your PC has to send your location data somewhere, even if it's peer to peer or if it's a dedicated server. And as long as it's taking that influx of information, if I either overload it or don't fully report location data, how can it triangulate my position in order to say I got hit with a bullet?
I guess. Well, like I says, just like Geek said, consoles are blurring the PC market. PS4 runs on Linux OS. Um, wow, that's sad. That's sad to know, to be honest with you. But I guess it's good that they are on top of it. I've honestly never had a noticeable problem with it, with people cheating. Outside of the normal, like you know, messing with your router, lag switch or whatever, stuff like that. But yeah, I guess this is where we are. That's just wonderful. Like it says you can run Steam on the PS5. I didn't know that. But that actually that's interesting enough. That actually leads into the next story, and I guess this would have a lot to do with it. You can now run Stadia on the Xbox. Um, so you've heard that Xbox has upgraded to the latest and PC version of
Edge.
Microsoft Edge. Thank you. It's just right on the tip of my tongue. So apparently, yeah, you've heard that, right? So
Okay.
go
Just
ahead.
just to interject, it's not an upgrade to generic Edge. There are some things I don't
Yeah,
want to get
right.
into that. I don't want to get into that argument. Um
He's right. Can't argue with that. There's not even an argument there. Why would you? But
so Edge, in order, and just what we're just talking about cheaters and people being able to exploit it, they have to lock it down differently for the consoles. Sorry. So that people can't steal data, they can't um implement rootkits. There was a number of things. What's his name? Brad Sams had a really in-depth discussion about that new Edge browser.
right.
But
But
he said it did breathe fresh life into. There are features that we have been missing because they were using the original uh browser that Microsoft doesn't even support anymore.
right.
And finally the consoles, or these consoles, are getting this update.
So I'm wondering if it can run Stadia, will it be able to run like Luna or like Plink said? Can you run Steam on the Xbox now? Can you run the Nvidia's um, cloud service, cloud gaming service, and all these other?
What was that? Shadow Play?
No, not Shadowplay. It's let me see here. I'm gonna try and look it up.
The one that they were up in arms over?
Yeah, where people are mad because um, what it is you can play. your Steam games without a local machine or what have you. Now that
Mhm.
sounds like shadow gaming or whatever, but it's different. And then a bunch of developers were like, "No, you can't do that," and they're saying that you have to pay for the game again.
GeForce Now.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you. That is exactly it. So, um, will it be able to run GeForce Now? Will you be able to sit at your? Can you run PlayStation Now? Um, can you sit at your Xbox now and play your PlayStation games? Because these are games that you can run off of Microsoft Edge, the Microsoft Edge browser. There's a lot going on with Microsoft, and it kind of seems like they're really taking over here, and even in ways that are kind of inadvertent. Because I don't think they were sitting there thinking in the boardroom or whatever. If we do this, you'll be able to play Stadia on the Xbox, and that's gonna bring more people to the Xbox. I don't think that was in any way their thought. But if now, if Microsoft Edge opens all these ways to play other systems, that's very interesting. And then what will PlayStation's answer to it be? Because PlayStation has a lot that they need to step up and do right now after this week and all the announcements. Did you Were you able to figure out there's a tiny little bug flying around and it is annoying me? Um, did you get Echo Evans thing?
I do have the article. I mean, it's actually a YouTube video about it.
Throw it up.
Uh, okay.
What is the subject?
It's about what Twitch is doing in the background for marketing ranking the ranking different creators. Oh
Were you able to play PlayStation on the last gen Xbox on the Xbox One?
no, I don't
I
think any of
I
those
don't
things work.
I don't remember that happening. Like I don't know. If you could, I have no idea about it. Um, I'll look into that for next week. Sorry, because I honestly have no idea. All right, there you go.
And so, actually, let's put that out. So I gotta reread this because it's kind of convoluted. Well, in my opinion, because there are two camps. There are those that are for it and those that are against it. People that are against it don't really understand that this is normal practice. It's not anything new or different from what everybody does.
I mean, so
And
what are we talking about here? Because I'm absolutely confused.
okay, so there's a ranking system for every creator so that they can say to uh, developers or to anybody who wants to market, right? These these streamers are uh, clean streamers. They're not cursing. They're not verbally advertising Pornhub. They're not doing a number of different things that would be that marketers would not want to be associated with their brand.
Okay.
And so creators are rated as to how likely they are to be brand friendly. And but that's what any big uh creator or purveyor of creation does. So it's not really that big a deal because it's not anything new. So why everybody's up in arms? But well, I guess it's being published and they didn't know about it.
That's interesting.
And that's a story that Evan submitted to say he would be interested to hear our take on it. So I gave my thoughts. Now that you've heard a little bit about it, what do you feel?
I mean, on the one hand, as an adult, you know, everybody's kind of no. Let me say it this way: as someone who cares, who has a lot of nieces and nephews, and who worries about what they are stumbling into, yes, like they're not actively looking for, like you said, somebody to be verbally promoting Pornhub, but it when their favorite streamers say something about this or swear or something like who's famous? Jacksepticeye, right? He's on Disney. He does gaming on Disney as well as streaming or what have you. Um I thought that for sure to be on that platform on Disney you wouldn't be able to swear, but they do allow them, they do swear or whatever. So in that sense of it, like thinking about the small children that I know, and I wouldn't want to hear them swear to swear not to me, not only to me or at me or something, but just in general because they heard their favorite streamer do it, and they don't understand that it's bad because they're watching something that's supposed to be kid friendly. Like everything we post on YouTube or what have you, right? We have to mark it as not for children. It may be perfectly fine for children, but and I actively think about what I'm saying to be sure that I don't say it like swear or something, just in case kids are watching, even though it specifically says this is not for children or what have you. Um, so in that, you know, is it anti-streamer? I don't think so. I mean, but at the same time, I don't. I think they maybe should be ranked differently, separately, right? Um, okay, I'm a streamer more for adults, and I can say whatever I want, or I'm a streamer who um streams kid friendly, and I have to do that and judge it on two separate entities, I guess. Because I guess that's the way I would see. I would really need to look more into it. I wish. So actually, why don't we pin this for next week as well? So
Okay.
I'm here because I don't feel like I have an answer for you right now, like because I don't know the the depth of it. You know what I mean? Um, And like I said, I'm taking note. Plank wants to know about last gen PlayStation on Xbox. And Echo Evan wants to know about Twitch anti-stream feature. All right. Sorry guys. I just especially Echo Plank, I just don't know. I have no idea. But I'll look into it for sure. And Evan, I just need to research what's going on to give you a really definitive answer, because I can give you an answer of what I think is going on right now, but if I'm off, then my answer might be different. So I need to figure that out.
Harris Heller's introduction yesterday was all about it.
All right, so I'll try and find all that. But yeah, I don't know. Uh, you have anything else?
The other article, for whatever reason, I can't find. There was something else that I saved that I don't see.
All right.
I think
Well then,
it got reset.
let's do some unpacking. Now I know you heard about the Bethesda deal.
How could I not?
So did you watch the presentation?
The replay of it, yes.
So a lot of people are saying that all their all their questions have been answered. That Phil Spencer said in there that from now on, games are going to be exclusive of Bethesda games, and everything that falls under the ZeniMax umbrella are going to be the exclusive to Xbox. And they're saying confirmed. I'm going to tell you guys now, confirmed. You guys keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means, right? You can't just throw the word confirmed on everything because you're guessing at something, right? Like, the fact that you're guessing means it's not confirmed. So stop, because that's annoying. Like, that's seriously annoying. Phil Spencer, as you know, if you saw it, said that basically that games from here on out are going to be exclusive to Xbox as long as there are no contractual obligations. They're going to uphold those. So what is it, Ghostwire Tokyo or Tokyo Ghostwire, whatever that game is, and Death, what is it, Deathloop. These are games that we know are going to Sony. They're the contracts, we've already known about them for like a year or something now, so we already know about that. But the big question is Starfield, right? We all been waiting for, well, not me. I just recently heard about it, but people have been waiting for Starfield apparently for years. And um, now people are saying that Phil Spencer confirmed that Starfield is not going to be on the PlayStation. And Sony fans are really upset, claiming that Xbox now has a monopoly. You guys, again, using a word that you don't know what it means. Um, um, Xbox fans are super happy because it's been confirmed that Starfield will not be on PlayStation, and we don't want PlayStation to have our game. Truth is, he didn't confirm anything like that, right? And honestly, I have no skin in the game. It can go to PlayStation. It can go to PlayStation. Either way, I'll be able to play it because I have a PlayStation, right? So, and I have an Xbox, and I have Game Pass, and so wherever it goes, I honestly I don't care, right? But here's the fact, here's the truth. What he said is anything that they're not contractually obligated to have go somewhere else will be exclusive to their Game Pass ecosystem. But we don't know the contract for Starfield yet. Nobody knows anything about Starfield. Starfield could have, at the beginning, been contracted to go everywhere, and Phil Spencer said they will uphold all contracts and legacy games. So people were saying like all these like Fallout and uh, Doom and just like all these games that have been on all the consoles before are definitely not. Well, we don't know what they're calling legacy games. Like we don't. In clearing everything up, he cleared up nothing. He just honestly, if you think about it, brought more questions because we don't know the definition of what a legacy, what he considers to be a legacy game. Now we know that like Fallout 76 is still going to be on the PlayStation because it's already on the PlayStation. They're not going to yank it. He said that. Um,
Right.
the Elder Scrolls multiplayer game, Elder Scrolls Online, we know that's going to still be on PlayStation. He said they're not going to pull it, and they're still going to support all these games that are already on all these systems. So I would consider these legacy games. And so if I personally am defining the word legacy, then Elder Scrolls, the franchise is a legacy game. So does that mean now it may, in his definition, it may not be that he may not be considering the franchise a legacy game or a legacy franchise, and so he may be pulling whatever is coming in the pipeline for that. He may be holding that back as an exclusive. Um, but the thing is, people are saying this, that, and the third has been confirmed. The truth is, all he did was add more questions because what is a legal? What contracts are out there? We don't know. He didn't say. We don't know. So I think a lot of the Xbox warriors are setting themselves up for a real heartbreak that I really honestly don't understand. Like much whether or not more people, why it bothers you that more people would play a game that you like, or why it bothers you that Sony will be supporting Microsoft. Like, I can understand if you're a Sony warrior, but Xbox guys, you guys should be happy if, I mean, and I get it. You know, the big thing that you guys are in conflict for is trying to figure out who's better or what have you. One of the things is that the Sony Warriors, one of the weapons that they have to use is exclusive games, and so you want a bunch of exclusive games so that you can have that as a weapon to use against them. But you know, the I wish people on all sides and no matter what would look at the bigger picture. I want all the companies to succeed, right? But even if you just want your company to see whether it succeed, whether it be Sony, Nintendo, or Xbox, um, then them making money from their competitors should be like that thing that makes you think, yeah, well, okay, you guys have exclusives and we share our games with you, but you guys are paying us for the privilege to play our games. Like you guys are ensuring that we will never fail. You know, if you need a weapon to fight against Sony with, there, I'm handing you a weapon, and it's a good weapon. Okay, we don't have the exclusives, but you guys are paying us to make sure, and thus ensuring that we never fail because we're getting money from you. So, um, I mean, what do you think about what he said? Honestly, I should have asked you this in the beginning before I threw my 2 cents in there. What did he confirm that they're not getting any of these games out of Ghostwire and Deathloop?
He didn't confirm specific games. Well,
What's
not
going on,
all.
Evan?
Oh, Evan, we talked about uh your topic, buddy. Um, so what's up, Evan? I got to get that out. Um, there's a lot of things that are still up in the air with the deal. Everything is not finalized, but there were a number of specifics that he did confirm. And I actually meant to uh, listen to it again and take notes, and I didn't get a chance to.
I mean, there's some big things going on, like I said. In this one deal, they got a bunch of new studios, right? So, and this bunch of new studios will does mean a bunch of exclusives for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not getting exclusives. I'm saying that people are using the word that things are confirmed that are actually not confirmed because we
I agree.
honestly do not have all the information yet. We don't know what contracts were out there before this week, right? So looking at it that way, we don't know what contracted to do because it hasn't been announced, right? We don't know what he considers legacy games because it hasn't been announced. But he has said that they're going to honor their contract. They're going to keep putting their legacy games where they have been in the past. So people took from this a bunch of information that he didn't offer. But the good thing is, like, they got id right. So now they have an engine that we know is like top of the line for it, at the very least for first and third person shooters, right? Id Tech is amazing. So if you look at Doom, and any other shooter that uses the id Tech software, these are great games, right? Like, people, Doom is the first. If you think about your first shooter, and I'm not saying it's the first shooter ever, but most people will say Doom is it. That, and so now that goes to Xbox. Now they don't have to pay to use what's the big one? Big soft, really, man.
The game? You're trying to think of a game?
No, the software. Unreal thing. Sorry, Unreal Engine. The new
Oh,
Unreal Engine. They don't have to use. They don't have to pay for Unreal anymore. They have their own in-house now. They talked about how even in the past they've collaborated a little. They said when Fallout 76 went so horribly wrong, they got in touch with Phil Spencer to ask, how they could fix it, on because they're friends. Um, so now think about it. All these studios and the team over at Bethesda said that all along, like, their in-house studios get together once a year to look at what each other's doing, and they collaborate all the time. Now that's going to be happening completely across all of Microsoft's first party titles. So think about, like, the best of the studios in ZeniMax and the best of the studios that were already under Microsoft's umbrella combined to, and so now the people who are making Halo and the people who are making Doom collaborating on shooters, two totally different kinds of shooters, but you're tossing ideas back and forth freely because you're not competing with one another. And the big winner is definitely the gamers, but is it just the Microsoft gamers? We don't know yet because they're just answers that we don't have yet. Even in the statement that he said that has been confirmed, he didn't confirm much. He confirmed that there were going to be a lot more um, exclusive titles coming to Game Pass, the Game Pass ecosystem, and that's pretty much it. He didn't confirm which games, and so throwing out there that it's confirmed that Starfield, which is the big one, is going to be exclusively on Game Pass, and it may be, but I am very much willing to say I can't confirm that. So, another thing is, and this is a good thing. All these games are going to be on Game Pass, right? So, pay your money for Game Pass, you get all these games. I've said it time and time again. I feel like Game Pass is the best deal in gaming, hands down, probably ever, right? Um, but now something can happen, and I hope that they do make this happen or they think about this. A lot of games these days get released in a way that we find them lacking, right? Um, we're upset because they're unfinished or unpolished or what have you. Now, these games being made by all these Microsoft studios can be released on Game Pass as previews, right? All they have to do is put the title preview in front of it, release it on Game Pass. It's still paid for the same way that it will be if they just release it as a full-fledged game done and dusted or whatever. But they add that preview moniker. They call it a beta or whatever, and even if it's bad, that gives them leeway to fix it and say, well, we were open with you. We said it's unfinished. We called it a preview. We called it a beta. We called it an alpha, whatever. But we just allowed everybody that had Game Pass to test it out for us. So Microsoft has, I don't, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that thought about this, right? That this has come to mind for. But Microsoft has, whether purposefully or inadvertently, they have maneuvered themselves into a position to where when they release games, whether they come out good or bad, they can release them in a way that they're safe and that they can take them back and work on them without hurting too many people's feelings. Like people are going to call them, yeah, this game is blah, blah, blah. But they can say, hey, it was a preview, or hey, it was a beta, it was an alpha, and we just allowed everybody to test it for us. I mean, do you see it that way, or have you even given any thought to anything like that?
My thought has been I don't want to give them an excuse to keep handing me unfinished business. Particularly, I'm following your analogy when I give them my money.
Hmm.
I wouldn't when I play a beta and alpha, I don't feel bad because I didn't pay any money. Once I give you my money and I give you the full price for the game, I want the full game.
Right.
And anything less than that stands to frustrate me. There
I
you go.
agree. But going by what you just said, you're not giving them the full price for the game. You're not specifically paying for that game at all. If you're getting it through Game Pass, you're paying for Game Pass, and they're saying, here, this is what's on Game Pass, right? So does that change anything for you?
That
You're
changes
paying
everything.
you're paying $15 a month for Game Pass, and now they can honestly release everything. And I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm not saying that they should do this. They definitely shouldn't do this. But notably, they can say, "Hey, this is in preview." A lot of games are in preview. Grounded comes to mind. Is a game that my wife at least kind of likes. I haven't seen her play in a while, but it's in preview. It's not a finished game. They're saying, "Hey, it's not a finished game, but here it's on Game Pass. Why don't you test it for us and let us know as we add more and more to it how what you think about it?" Um, I think that's an interesting thing, and I think that they have maneuvered themselves. Like I said, whether they did it on purpose or as a total mistake, or just happenstance or what have you, they've maneuvered themselves through Game Pass to be able to release games as a preview, as a beta, or as an alpha, to where they can get a lot of good feedback. Hopefully, I don't think many people give too much feedback on games when they do even play them in alpha or beta, but when they're open like that. But um, I think you're going to see that though. I think that's something that you're going to see come of this. They get to they get to do that. They can freely do that, and I think they are going to do that. Um, any other thoughts on this whole Bethesda deal?
Here, I think that's something I'm going to have to table for next week because there's whole bunches of information that I want to quote to support my feelings, positive or negative.
Right.
And there's a number of things that I have in my head, but I haven't fleshed it out enough to have an absolute opinion.
Got you. That works for me. So then, why don't we do this? Why don't we call the show for this week? Because I think in a minute you're about to hit your head on your mic from dozing off. um, and we'll pick up with it again next week. There's a lot to there honestly is a lot to look at in this Bethesda deal. A lot was said, and honestly, if you guys are watching, hopefully you'll take the time, if you haven't, to check out the roundtable that they had and kind of get your questions together or get your thoughts and opinions together, and we can have a really big discussion about it next week and try and figure out honestly what has been confirmed, using the true sense of the word confirmed, and what we think might happen, and what we hope to happen, because I know there are some of you that are only on PlayStation. There are some of you that are on PC that may have be dealing with Game Pass in that manner. There are some of you that have an Xbox and maybe dealing with Game Pass in that matter. Matter of fact, how many of you guys are dealing with Game Pass on your phone, right? You can see what I was doing before the show. But yeah, so let's pick it up again next week. Let's let Geek get some sleep because he's struggling, and I feel bad for him. Yeah, he's struggling so bad he had to throw up his little caricature. Couldn't even be live for it. So we'll pick it up again next week, and let me show you where you can find everybody, or find Geek. He is on Xbox as Geekmaster NYC, PlayStation, Twitch, Steam, and Discord as just Geekmaster no vowels, and on Uplay as Geekmaster NYC completely spelled out. You can find me on the PlayStation, Steam, and Twitch as Falchion757. On the Xbox, I am Falchion Space GSA, and here on YouTube, you know me as Borderless Gaming GSA. All right, so say goodbye to the people, Geek.
So long.
Yo, I honestly thought he fell asleep behind this.
No. Episode 12 is in the can.
All right, guys. So if you're willing to do your homework, check out the roundtable for the Bethesda Microsoft merger, and get your opinions, questions, whatever ready for next week. And until next time, this has been Falchion, and you know me. I'm Ghost. 2 fingers is peace. Later.
Later, guys.